Okay, that's called amplification. You're looking at the great distance, and a group stalker is supposed to maintain the outside external appearance of being just engaged in nothing about what LAPD is doing looks ordinary anymore. They are so deep in the pattern of conduct, it's not even funny. But I just want you to pay attention to what's the external appearance. You're looking at something that should be something that you're not hearing inside of the apartment. I am not clairvoyant to the extent that I know their flight schedule. They're stalking 24/7. I know that. The pattern of conduct is to employ amplification via the method of helicopter activity, both to communicate a threat, to obstruct justice, to show aggression, and also because they're engaged in ongoing just stalking. So the demons alternate methods of activity creation. They're maintaining noise in the engineered light and presence in the engineered light. My window is closed, I'm in my apartment, and the entity is amplifying the sound of helicopter at this distance. And the flight in both directions, this is demonic patrolling. And so let me show you what they're doing. The demon possessed want to go back and forth. Okay, so break it down to just what one wants to do. So I'm not gonna mince words, so I'm gonna break something down for you. When I'm referencing the demonic, I'm referencing what is a spirit. It's physically invisible, okay? I'm referencing what would be referred to as Satan, okay? The Los Angeles Police Department literally have the spirit of Satan on them. They are engaging in demonic behavior. And so I want to be clear. Imagine one demon-possessed person, or let's just say one demon-possessed person, one person, but group stalking is done by a group. But for purposes of understanding what the demon-possessed intend to do in the engineered light, they want to do this. This is a psychopath, a freak weirdo who just wants to go back and forth in front of you. Everywhere that you're going, they just want to do this back and forth, okay? One person. Satan is using a massive group of people to accomplish this, which you are not aware of the fact that this is what they're doing. This is what they intend to do. This is why you're surrounded by an environment that's unnatural. You don't even realize that it's unnatural. You're not paying attention to the character of the light. You're not paying attention to the duration of time that the supposed sun is remaining around you. You're not paying attention to the fact that I'm showing documentation of what's the sun all day long and then what's above you in the sky space, because that's what you should be asking, okay? That's what you should be paying attention to. It's not possibly the same light source. It's not, and it's also not the sun over you while it remains all day. It's not. There's a lot of implications there. What they are doing, what these demons are doing, are engaging in patrolling. You're seeing demonic activity in aircrafts. Okay, they are repeatedly crossing path. They are group stalking in the sky space, and amplification is a hallmark of demonic behavior. And so you're looking at what appears to be at a great distance, and those demons are targeting me. That's how the system of group stalking works. And this is highly demonic, what you're looking at. This is that psychopath conduct in the engineered light, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You have demons that are flying planes and helicopters. Okay, there is no sun that's over Alvarado Gardens. None of this is sunlight because it's over Paul Bunyan Library in Rancho Cucamonga. That's also how you know they're demons, and I'm letting you know the significance of what they're doing in relevant position in the sky space. Also, that amplification, that great distance, but yet while I'm inside of my apartment with the windows closed, I open, there you go. And not only that, they are pacing back and forth. All right, I want to be clear. The outward demonstration of demon possession by corrupt law enforcement agencies, by state actors, that is on its face going to be prosecuted as terrorism, because I want to be clear, the Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring is unveiling the reality. We are all approached and acknowledging, inevitably, it doesn't matter what you claim to believe, what you are faced with is facts. And these facts are pointing to what is undeniable. So if you don't know what to call it, I'm going to let you know what it is. This is demonic. Demonic is synonymous with what is highly malicious, psychotic behavior, okay? And this is practiced by a government. This is the government being represented by LAPD. And they're group stalking in the sky space. And they are doing so in a specific environment. The evidence is covering all of the people of the state. All of the people. There's no sunlight that would touch any of their properties if that's the sun over the Paul Bunyan Library. All right, the sun is maintained its zenith presence over me. And in addition to that, understand what demons intend to do. Surround you in that specific engineered light. The entity is in their vehicles. They're pacing around the streets, and they're not driving. These are demons that are listening to what I'm saying. And this is something that is unfathomable to you, but this is the reality. I am taking off what is the malicious veil, because what's supposed to appear as normal. And when you witness what's a light source that's remaining for 12 hours in a day, rising and setting inside of my apartment, if the sun is over the Paul Bunyan Library, please, pray tell, What is this light on my wall, like you see day in and day out? Because that's not possibly sunlight coming from the sun that's over the Paul Bunyan Library. This is why you document. You also know that this is sunlight. The blinds are closed. These blinds are closed. So you have what is the entity engaging in through closed blinds, through these small little holes, and they're magnified in size. They also tend to create what is multiple shadows, this light. This light is also appearing on my ceilings. It's also at nightfall appearing beside my window, up onto the ceiling, causing my shadow to appear above my head. If the sun is over the Paul Bunyan Library, how is there any light? There is no sun over Alvarado Gardens. That's a light source. This is the reality of what you are confronted with, regardless of what you claim to believe or what you want to accept. It's not based on that, okay? It's based on what the evidence is, what the facts are, and we can all agree on that. So please reason with me. I'm not talking about anything that you cannot see or hear with your own eyes and ears, okay? The significance of their conduct in this naturally impossible. It's naturally impossible. It's not natural. It's not occurring naturally. It is impossible. All right. This is the significance of what these demented actors want to engage in. A psychopath that just wants to be in front of you. You are literally the center of the universe. I am not speaking as someone with a big ego. Okay. And that's what I sense. I have some misperceived. No, it's not about that. And that's not a compliment that a government is targeting you. There's nothing that's adding to your perception of yourself. It has nothing to do with an ego. Where an entity is stalking with a light source, that's terrorism. Or an entity is stalking with engineered light, that is terrorism. Where the entity is surrounding you all day with a light source and you will become aware of it. And then the ordinary target individual is like, well, is this real? Like, what is, okay, that's the affect on the ordinary person. Okay. And then who are you going to tell about it? Everybody is monitoring you. Everyone. Okay. Everyone is monitoring you. And if you utter a word of it, they are waiting to criminally defame you. And they are monitoring you while they do that, calling you a paranoid, schizophrenic, bipolar, hallucinate, whatever they call. They're monitoring you. They're targeting you. And then they intend to defame you. Understand the malice of that. The levels of malice. It is entirely psychotic. This is a system that is deliberately engaged in to torment and terrorize someone, to psychologically damage them, all right, for no legitimate purpose. And this is satanic, and this is a government that is in helicopter doing this. This is what demons do. This is a freak weirdo that wants to do this in front of you, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. If you saw one person doing that, it would be obviously weird. Like, what is wrong with you? Okay. The demon possessed want to be all around you and appear normal. So instead of one person doing this, you'll have one plane do a U-turn and go back the opposite direction, and another plane, and then a helicopter flies by that, making a U-turn. They're engaging in demonic behavior in the sky space, in the specific environment. This is demonic activity, and that's what I'm breaking down for you. Under no circumstances would there ever be any sunlight as a product of the sun rising through my living room window in the morning and setting through my bedroom window in the evening. And then the entity is keeping the moon over my bedroom window now, okay? As of the early morning of March 25th or 24th, 2024, I'm documenting the entity. It starts keeping the moon now in alignment to me at nightfall. And that's a documented pattern of conduct. That's exactly what the entity was doing in the Inland Empire in Fontana and Ontario. The sun and the moon over me day and night. Okay, that has nothing to do with some overinflated ego. I don't suffer from that. There are no misconceptions about what it is that I'm documenting. That's why you document it. It is unmistakable, and it's not reasonably questioned. You're witnessing demonic activity. These are demon possessed. These are psychopaths. These are violent sex offenders who are listening to every word that I'm uttering. They're in a specific environment, and they are surrounded by evidence. This is the delusion of the demon possessed. They literally are surrounded by the evidence, and they're continuously engaging in it while they follow with the light source, while they aim engineer light inside of my apartment, and they're confronted with where the placement of that whole environment where they were keeping me the center of the universe in an entirely different area, and they do this day in and day out. Day in and day out. That's called the impermissible threat. The state of California is going to compensate. There are no damage calculations that exist where a government is monitoring you and terrorizing you, sexually violating you. I just want to be clear. The government has yet to be acknowledged as prosecuted as a sex offender. And that's what the government is, because that's what the government is doing. All right. So you're going to let the law and the prosecution follow the criminal activity. All right. And it's established through the pattern of conduct, a thorough exposition of a public entity's pattern of conduct. And it is necessarily doing it through the people of the state. That's why you see engineered light all over their property, because there's no sun that's over the Paul Bunyan Library that's going to create any sunlight over any of their properties. And you see it here, not only rising, but also setting. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 5:23 p.m.